One Studio. Tonight I'm here to tell you about the unfortunate incident of Mr. Kovalyov and his nose disappearing. I've invited symbolic interactionist Brianne Tofstrud to comment more on the situation. Could you tell us a little bit more about Kovalyov's nose and why it is so symbolic?
Kovalyov's nose was a source of egotism and confidence for him, and now that his nose has disappeared, he's feeling very inferior and subordinate. As we all know, reality is a very changing and fluid concept. Mair thought that his position in society was permanent and concrete, but he was greatly mistaken when he woke up without a nose. As far as significant symbols go, we all know that a significant symbol is something that has the same meaning for every individual in a society. Mair thought that a nose was symbolic of egotism, humanism, and superiority to other individuals. The loss of his nose, he thought, was going to generate very much concern not only for him but for everybody else in his social circle.
Yeah.
Mair thought that noses were significant symbols and that everybody valued noses equally as significant sources of superiority and human quality. When he lost his nose, he was greatly mistaken because not everybody was as concerned and distraught over the situation as he was. This is understandable as it was his own nose. He thought that everyone would be equally affected by the loss of his nose. One thing that we really need to keep in mind is that this would only be a significant symbol if everybody reacted the same way and everybody held the nose in similar values. We can see that this was not a significant symbol, as when Mair went to put an ad in the newspaper looking for his nose, the man at the newspaper shop was not as concerned as he was, meaning that the nose obviously did not hold as much value in the eyes of the newspaper worker as it did in Mair. If we look at this from a dramaturgical perspective, we can look at three things: face-to-face interactions, including scenes, scripts, and regions. When we look at the scenes of this situation, Kovalyov was a collegiate assessor who insisted that everybody refer to him as Mair. The scenes of his interactions were either academic interactions or social interactions where he kept himself busy trying to pick up women or boasting his role in society. The scripts of his interactions, which are pre-made dialogue for interactions that happened within scenes, were very self-promoting, and anything that would make Mair look better in the eyes of other people, he made sure were vocalized. As far as regions are concerned, anything that would make Kovalyov look better in the eyes of his peers was put into the front stage region, where it was available for everyone to view. But anything that Mair Kovalyov was concerned with or self-conscious about, he made sure that he kept in the back region of his life so that his peers would not be aware of that situation. In order to keep his role in society superior to others, Mair Kovalyov practiced oppressive othering and boundary maintenance. As we can see in the church scene, even when Mair Kovalyov was self-conscious and without his nose, he still practiced oppressive othering by talking down to other people and comparing himself to those that he felt were subordinate to him. He practiced boundary maintenance by not associating with those that he felt were subordinate to him and only walking in tight upper-class social circles. Social meaning is not inherent to objects, but is created from outside influences and has extrinsic value. A nose has no inherent meaning of superiority or humanism, but is assigned that meaning by the Mair. When the nose disappears, the assigned meaning becomes more apparent because that is the Mair's main concern. Mair Kovalyov had an incorrect perception of how others see him. He thought that others viewed him as having a significant and powerful role in society, but this is only because he was constantly speaking of his positions and imposing on others a view that they should have of him. Mair's looking-glass view was very distorted, as he imposed views onto others that he wished that they had of him.
Well, thank you, Ms. Topstruve, for bringing us up to speed on the story of Mr. Kovalyov. It's been very informative. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back to weather with Alfred. Thank you.